Before we begin, take a moment to get comfortable. Let your arms go heavy, your breath slow. And as you listen, feel free to leave a comment sharing what time it is, where you are, and what city or village you're listening from. It's love to know. And if you'd like more quiet stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe so they gently appear when you need them most. Now, let's begin. When you lie down at night, pulling blankets over your shoulders, you feel the quiet settle around you. The room grows still, the lights fade, your body relaxes. It feels like a kind of surrender, as if you are about to vanish into the deep pause of sleep. You tell yourself, I am shutting down. But your brain does not agree. Even in the stillness of midnight, even when you no longer move or speak, your brain hums with life. It never turns off. Not for a second. Not for a lifetime. Pause and imagine a city. First glance, when night falls, it looks silent. Shops close, streets empty, windows go dark. Okay, but if you look closely, the city is still alive. Streetlights glow. A bakery prepares bread for morning. Trains carry night shift workers. A hospital hums with monitors. The city never stops. It only changes pace. Your brain is the same. By day, it is bustling, responding to the world, absorbing sights, processing words, balancing your every step. By night, it changes tempo, but it does not go dark. Its workers remain. Its lights still glow. The myth of complete rest, that the brain shuts down when you sleep, is only illusion. Science shows us this clearly. With electrodes placed on the scalp, researchers can see brain waves shift as you drift into sleep. But none of those waves ever stop completely. They move like tides, fast ripples in wakefulness, slower swells in drowsiness, deep rolling currents in dreamless sleep, sharp bursts in REM dreams. The water never stills, the tide never rests, and so the myth of silence dissolves. The brain is always awake, always alive, even when you are not aware of it. Pause again. Imagine a lighthouse by the sea. Waves crash against the rocks. By day, its beam cuts through daylight, invisible but steady. By night, its light turns, sweeping the horizon. But at no point does the bulb extinguish. It only changes what it illuminates. Your brain is such a lighthouse. Its light never fades. It always turns, always scans, always shines. Why then does sleep feel like oblivion? Because awareness is not the same as activity. Your conscious mind lets go, but the deeper structures of the brain keep working in silence. Like backstage workers in a theater, they carry on unseen. The audience rests, but the play continues. At night, neurons still fire, signals still travel. Memories are replayed, filed away, reshaped. Hormones are regulated. Waste is cleared. Even dreams, those vivid, strange creations, are proof that the brain is never idle. Pause once more. Imagine a garden at dusk. If you leave it, believing it has gone to sleep, but underground, roots stretch, moisture travels upward, cells divide, buds prepare to open. The garden is busy, even if unseen. So too with your mind. It works in secret, keeping you alive while you believe yourself to be resting. The myth of complete rest has roots in how sleep feels. You wake in morning and cannot recall the hours past. It is tempting to believe nothing happened at all. But forgetfulness is not absence. It is only a veil. Behind the veil, your brain never stopped. In fact, those missing hours were some of its busiest. Your heart beat without command. Your lungs rose and fell. Your temperature was balanced. And all the while, your neurons whispered to each other in delicate sequences. You may not remember it, but your brain remembers everything. Science calls this continuous activity the baseline rhythm of the brain. Even at its quietest, it burns more energy than your muscles at work. At night, it consumes nearly as much fuel as during the day. The body rests. The brain does not. It is as though your skull holds a lantern that never extinguishes a flame, carried from birth to the final breath. Pause again. Imagine a watch ticking by your bedside. You may ignore it. You may forget it is there, but it ticks all the same, second after second. Your brain is that ticking watch. Its rhythm never halts. Its song never ceases. This myth of silence also comes from the way we speak of sleep. We say we switch off, speak of going under. We imagine a machine turned down, a system unplugged, but the brain is not machine. It is orchestra, and an orchestra does not stop playing when the conductor leaves. It shifts to softer notes, a slower tempo, a quieter score, but the music continues. Scientists, measuring brain activity during the deepest stages of sleep, see waves rise and fall like breaths of the ocean, slow, steady, rolling across the cortex. It's billions of neurons firing together, then pausing, then firing again. It is not silence, it is rhythm. It is the steady pulse of a mind still alive with energy, and in those waves, the night's work is done. Pause once more. Imagine a loom weaving cloth. The shuttle moves back and forth, thread crossing thread, pattern forming. By day, the loom weaves bright designs, answering every moment. By night, it weaves differently. But it does not stop. The fabric grows all the same. Your brain is such a loom, it never rests. It only changes pattern. This myth, the idea of rest as nothingness, is comforting on the surface, but the truth is deeper and more beautiful, because it means you are never abandoned. Even when you drift, even when awareness dissolves, your brain continues. It watches, it repairs, keeps you whole. There is no such thing as complete rest. And that is why you survive the night. Pause again. Imagine falling asleep in a ship at sea. The deck sways gently. You close your eyes. It feels like stillness. But beneath, engines churn, rudders steer, currents push. The ship is alive with motion, even while you rest in your cabin. Sleep is this voyage. Your brain is the ship. It carries you safely, whether you notice or not. The myth dissolves. You are not switching off. You are not ceasing. You are shifting. Tempo, changing gears, surrendering the stage to quieter actors. The play continues, and you're both audience and participant. This is the gentle truth. The brain never rests. Not in slumber, not in silence, not even for a breath. And now you are ready for the next step of the journey. If the brain never sleeps, what happens when you first close your eyes? What rhythms rise? What waves begin to roll? It's asterisk, the first descent into sleep is quieter than you realize. You lie still, your breathing slows, your body grows heavy. But within your brain, something remarkable begins. You do not turn off, okay? You change rhythm. Pause and imagine an orchestra at dusk. The hall empties of its noisy crowd. The conductor lowers his baton. The trumpets quiet, okay? The drums fall silent, but the strings linger softly, bowing slow notes that hum in the air. The music has not stopped. It has shifted into a different song. This is how your brain enters sleep. It leaves behind the rapid symphony of waking thought and sinks into slower, steadier movements. The music continues. Tempo changes. Science shows us this shift. When you are awake, your brain pulses with beta waves, fast rhythms, alert, ready, like quick footsteps across a busy street. As drowsiness begins, those fast steps slow, okay? Beta fades into alpha waves, slower, smoother, like walking into evening. Light.alpha is the gateway. It is the rhythm of relaxation, the wave that comes when you close your eyes but remain aware. Meditation rests here. Daydreaming rests here. And as sleep begins, you pass through this quiet shore. Pause again. Imagine standing at the edge of a lake. The day has been noisy, wind stirring ripples across the surface. But as the sun sets, the air stills, and the water smooths into calm. This is alpha. The surface settles. But beneath, life continues. From alpha, your brain drifts into theta waves, slower still, like a tide moving in and out. Theta is the rhythm of early sleep, the gentle descent. It is the wave of twilight, not fully day, not fully night. Here, you may twitch, your body loosening its grip. Here, you may see fragments of imagery, shapes, faces, patterns, as if dreams are knocking on the door. This is the first descent. It is not unconsciousness, it is doorway. Pause once more. Imagine a path leading down a hillside. At the top, you are in daylight. Each step downward brings more shadow, more stillness. You walk slowly, but the air cools, the birds quiet, the light softens. This is the descent into theta, step by step, further from day, closer to dream. And yet, even here, the brain never stops. In theta, neurons continue their whispers. They hum in slower unison, like monks chanting in a cloister. Their voices low, steady, repetitive. The chant continues, soft, measured, without end. Why is this descent necessary? Because the brain protects you. It cannot leap from waking to deepest sleep. It must ease itself, layer by layer, like a diver entering water, first shallow, then deeper. Each rhythm prepares you for the next. Pause again. Imagine lowering yourself into a pool. First, your feet touch, then your knees, then your waist. Water rises gradually. You do not plunge in all at once. Your body adjusts, step by step. Sleep is the same. The descent is gentle. The rhythm changes slowly. Scientists describe this as stage 1 sleep. It lasts only minutes. Your body still knows the world. If someone calls your name, you may wake easily, insisting you are not asleep. But your brain has already shifted. Your neurons already hum in theta's rhythm. The descent has begun. This stage is fragile. A door opening, a sound in the hall, can pull you back to wakefulness. But if undisturbed, you drift deeper. The descent continues. Pause once more. Imagine a boat drifting from shore. At first, you still see the sand. You still hear the voices of people, but the boat carries you slowly outward. The voices fade. The lights grow faint. You are not far, but you are leaving. Stage 1 is this departure, and drifting away from the shore of wakefulness. From here, the brain prepares for deeper stages. Muscles relax. Breathing steadies. Your eyes, though closed, may roll gently beneath the lids, as if scanning shadows. Already, the body knows it is safe to rest. Already, the mind is letting go. And yet, it never stops. Even in this fragile stage, the brain generates bursts of activity, tiny sparks called hypnic jerks. Come suddenly, like a slip, a fall, a startle that wakes you. Scientists believe this is your brain protecting you, a leftover reflex from ancestors in trees, ensuring you did not fall as you slept. A twitch of safety, a spark of vigilance. Pause again. Imagine dozing on a train. Your body slumps forward. Suddenly, you jolt awake, then smile at yourself. The train continues, your journey uninterrupted. This is the hypnic jerk, a reminder that the brain is still on watch, even as you drift. As stage 1 yields to stage 2, another rhythm emerges. Your brain releases sleep spindles, sudden bursts of faster waves, like sparks on dark water. These spindles are guardians. Protect your sleep from outside noise. Okay. They tell the brain, ignore the world. The body needs to rest. It is one more reminder that even in descent, the brain is working, active, protective. Pause once more. Imagine standing in a cave. The entrance glows with daylight, but further in, the air is still. The light fades. You feel safe here, sheltered by stone. This is what spindles provide, a cave for the mind, a deeper descent into night. All the while, your brain is not silent. It is rearranging, organizing, preparing. Every shift in rhythm is part of its work. Every wave is a note in its music. And though you feel as if you are vanishing, you are, in fact, entering the great laboratory of the mind. Pause again. Imagine descending into an underground library. The door above closes. It's the noise of the world. Fades. You walk among shelves of books, each waiting for your brain to tend them. This is what the descent begins. The work of sorting, storing, renewing. A night shift that never ceases. The first descent is gentle. It is the crossing of threshold. But it is also proof that the brain never rests. It does not end. It only changes tempo, like a tide shifting, like an orchestra slowing, like a city at dusk. And as the descent deepens, its new mysteries rise. You are now ready for the next reflection. For in the deeper silence, your neurons will still ignite tiny sparks flashing in the dark, like stars appearing in night sky. Asterisk, the descent has begun. Your body is heavy, your breathing slow, your mind adrift. From the outside, you look like you are at rest, still, silent, gone. But within your skull, a universe continues to glow. For even in the deepest quiet, the brain is never dark. Neurons flicker, currents leap, tiny bursts of electricity move from one cell to the next. Billions of sparks, so small you cannot feel them, but together they make up the living light of thought. It is easy to believe that silence equals emptiness, but silence in the brain is never empty. It is filled with stars. Pause and imagine this. You are standing beneath a night sky. At first, it looks still, black, hushed. But as your eyes adjust, pinpoints appear. One star, then another, then entire constellations, each shimmering in its own time. Sky is alive, though you thought it was silent. Your brain is this sky. In the quiet of night, neurons fire in constellations, scattering sparks across your inner darkness. Science measures these sparks. Each neuron speaks through electricity, sending signals down its axon like lightning through a wire. At the end of that journey, a chemical message leaps a synapse, and the spark continues. This is thought, this is memory, this is life itself, and it does not pause at night. Okay? Some sparks shine brighter in sleep than in waking. Pause again. Imagine a forest at midnight. It looks deserted, but then a firefly glows, then another, then dozens, their lights flashing in rhythm, blinking across the trees. Forest is alive with signals. Your brain is such a forest, but the fireflies are neurons glowing in silence, filling the night with coded light. Even in deep sleep, this flicker continues. Slow waves roll through the cortex, but within them, bursts of activity appear, like sparks within a tide. Neurons light up, communicating, maintaining the network of your mind. This is not wasted effort. These sparks are vital. They repair, they consolidate, they create. Sleep is not silence. It is hidden work. Scientists call some of these bursts sleep spindles short. Rapid flashes of brain waves that last only a second or two. They appear, suddenly like meteors across the sky. And they are important, for they protect your sleep. They shield you from noise, from disturbance, allowing the night's work to continue. Even silence needs guardians. Even sparks protect the dark. Pause. Once more. Imagine camping in the wilderness. The fire burns low. Around you, shadows stretch. But every so often, a spark leaps from the embers, bright against the black. Each spark is small, but it keeps the fire alive. Your brain sparks are the same. Tiny bursts, each one essential, each one part of keeping you whole. But the sparks do more than protect. They also create. In REM sleep, the stage of vivid dreaming, the brain ignites with activity. It glows as if awake. Sparks leap faster. Patterns shift more wildly. This is the storm of creativity, the theater of dreams. It is proof that silence is never stillness. It is only hidden brilliance. Pause again. Imagine lightning flashing behind a distant mountain. The night looks quiet, but in the clouds, storms are unfolding. Your brain is such a sky. The storm is invisible from outside, tamed, but within, it is alive with fire. Why does the brain need these sparks? Because life itself depends on them. Neurons cannot stop. If they did, your heart would not beat. Your lungs would not rise. Your body would not survive. The sparks are the signal of life. Each one a pulse, each one a reminder that silence is only appearance. In deep sleep, the sparks also sort your memories. They replay fragments of the day, a sound, a face, a word you nearly forgot. Spark lights it again, places it in storage, strengthens its connections. This is how you wake with a memory that lasts. This is how knowledge grows. Pause once more. Imagine gardeners moving through an orchard at night. Lanterns, checking roots, tying branches, watering seeds. From outside, the orchard looks asleep, but within, it is tended, cared for, kept alive. Your neurons are such gardeners. The sparks are lanterns. Their work continues while you rest. Even stranger, the brain sometimes sparks in patterns that make no sense at all. Random bursts, neural noise, activity without clear purpose. But even this is useful. It's thought to be the soil of creativity. By firing in odd patterns, the brain discovers new connections, new stories, new dreams. So the sparks are not only maintenance, they are imagination. Pause again. Imagine a child doodling on paper, making random lines, strange shapes, nonsense. At first glance, but slowly, patterns appear. A picture forms. Brain's sparks are like these doodles. Random, perhaps, but from them, new forms emerge. Dreams are drawn this way. Ideas are born this way. Science has seen these sparks directly. When researchers scan the brain at night, they see bursts of energy, waves of light moving across cortex. Electrical storms in miniature. The silence of sleep glows with constellations. It is never dark. This dissolves the last illusion. You are not gone in sleep. You are alive with sparks, a sky of fireflies, a sea of lanterns, a storm of stars within. Pause once more. Imagine drifting on an ocean at midnight. The surface is calm, but beneath, bioluminescent creatures flash, tiny lights glowing, waves shimmering with hidden life. The ocean is alive in darkness. Your brain is this sea. Its sparks are its glow. Its silence is only appearance. This is why waking feels possible at any moment, because sparks never leave. Even in deepest rest, your brain is ready, listening, maintaining the fragile bridge between awareness and dream. It is always alive with electricity, always lit with stars. Pause again. Imagine standing in a cave. It feels silent, but then your torchlight catches crystals, glittering with inner fire. The cave was never dark. It was always waiting for light. Your brain is the same. Even when you believe it's silent, it is glittering within. The sparks also reveals something profound. It's that the line between waking and sleeping is thinner than you imagine. For the same neurons that fire when you walk, fire also when you dream of walking. The same circuits that light when you see, light also when you imagine. The sparks blur the boundary. They remind you, sleep is not opposite of life. It is continuation, and so the silence is never empty. It is filled with constellations, with gardeners, with fireflies, with storms of light. Your brain does not stop. It only glows differently, shifting its sparks from outward tasks to inward care. This is why silence is beautiful, because silence in the brain is not nothing. It is everything, alive in sparks you cannot see. Pause once more. So imagine lying under the night sky, stars bright above you. Each one seems far away, yet together they form patterns, shapes, stories. Your brain is this sky. Its sparks are its constellations. They form the maps of your dreams, the stories of your life, the rhythm of your nights. And now you are ready for the next reflection. For if sparks prove the brain is never silent, then what do those sparks do? What work do they carry out in the hidden hours of night? The sparks have shown themselves. Tiny bursts of light leap between neurons, even in the stillness of night. They are not random. They are purposeful. For while you sleep, your brain begins its night shift. Pause and imagine a great library. By day, people rush through it. Books are pulled from shelves, pages left open, notes scribbled in margins. At night, the doors close, lamps glow, custodians walk the aisles. They pick up books, return them to order, sweep away dust, repair torn pages. When morning comes, the library looks fresh again. Your brain is this library, and sleep is its closing hour. The night shift begins, restoring order, quietly, invisibly. Scientists know this well. Brain scans reveal that during sleep, whole networks change their function. By day, they respond to the world. By night, they tend to themselves. It is as though a busy marketplace suddenly transforms into a workshop. The workers are the same, but the tasks have shifted. Pause again. Imagine a city. Streetcars honk, voices rise, shops overflow with noise. Then midnight arrives. The streets empty. But now workers in orange vests appear. They sweep sidewalks. They repair lamps. They repaint faded lines. By dawn, the street looks alive again. Your neurons do the same. Their sparks at night are caretaking. Sparks, the brain's night shift at work. One of the most important tasks is memory consolidation. By day, your mind gathers experiences, a conversation, a face, a new skill, a scent you barely noticed. Each fragment enters fragile storage. If left alone, they would fade. But during sleep, the brain replays them, strengthens their pathways, transfers them into lasting memory. You do not remember the replay, but your brain does. It files away the day, shelving the books of experience, so they will not be lost. Pause once more. Imagine scribbling notes on scraps of paper. You scatter them across a desk. By evening, the desk is chaos. But at night, a careful hand collects them, copies them neatly into a journal, files them in order. By morning, your desk is clear, your notes preserved. Your brain is that careful hand. Your sleep is the copying. Without this night shift, memory would collapse. Studies show that people deprived of sleep struggle to remember. Facts slip, skills weaken. The day fades too quickly. It is not laziness, it is missing custodians. The night shift never came, and so, to carry your life forward, the brain must work at night. It must keep the library in order, but memory is only part of the shift. The brain also clears away debris. By day, your neurons fire endlessly. In doing so, they create waste, metabolic byproducts, proteins, chemical fragments, left to build up, they could harm. So at night, another system awakens, the glymphatic system. This is the brain's cleaning crew. It flushes fluid through neurotissue, washing away waste, rinsing the spaces between cells. Like a tide at midnight, it carries debris into drainage pathways, out of the skull, into the body's waste channels. It's brainwashing in the gentlest sense. Pause again. Imagine a theater after a play. Confetti litters the floor. Programs scatter in aisles, costumes lie in heaps. But when the audience is gone, a cleaning crew enters. They sweep, they gather, they restore order. So by morning, the theater is ready for another performance. Your brain does the same. Its glymphatic tides sweep the aisles, clear the stage, restore the set. Tomorrow is prepared. This cleaning is not small. Research shows that during sleep, the brain cells actually shrink slightly, making space for fluid to flow. It is as though the buildings of a city draw back their walls at night, opening alleys so that sweepers can pass. The brain reshapes itself to be cleaned. No other organ does this so dramatically. It is the secret of survival. Pause once more. Imagine narrow streets in an ancient town. By day, they are crowded, too tight for carts to enter. But at night, the stalls are folded away, the doors closed, the streets open wide. Workers carry away the waste. By dawn, the town is fresh again. Your brain is this town. Its neurons fold back, making way for the tide of cleansing. The night shift does more. It regulates your body. While you dream, the brain adjusts hormones, balances hunger signals, monitors temperature, even fine-tunes the immune system. The sleeping brain is like a conductor silently guiding the orchestra of the body. Each section must be in tune, each rhythm steady. Keeps you healthy without asking your awareness for help. Pause again. Imagine a ship on open sea. Passengers rest in cabins. They believe the ship is still, but in the captain's quarters, charts are studied, rudders adjusted, engines checked. The journey continues, though none notice. Captain, its night shift keeps the voyage safe. There is another task, quieter still. The brain uses sleep to prune its connections. By day, neurons form countless links. Each moment, each glance creates another branch. But not all branches are needed. At night, the brain trims. It strengthens useful connections, weakens the unnecessary. This pruning keeps the mind efficient, prevents it from being tangled in excess. Pause once more. Imagine a gardener at dusk. The plants have grown wildly, vines tangling over fences. With shears in hand, the gardener trims carefully, keeping what thrives, removing what strangles. By morning, the garden looks clear, ready to grow again. Your brain is this gardener. The night shift is its pruning. These labors are invisible to you. You drift through dreams, believing you are at rest. But within, your brain is bustling. Library reorganized, a theater cleaned, a town washed. Garden trimmed, the work of night, the endless shift. Pause again. Imagine walking through a sleeping city. The windows are dark, the streets empty, but if you listen closely, you hear distant sounds, the sweep of a broom, the hum of a streetlight, the clink of bottles collected. The city is not asleep. It is working in secret. So too is your brain. This work is why you wake renewed. Because you did nothing, but because your brain did everything. It sorted your memories. It washed your cells. It balanced your body. It pruned your thoughts. You wake, not empty, but restored. Sleep is not idleness. It is effort unseen. Pause once more. Imagine waking to a freshly prepared room. The bed is made, the floor swept, the windows opened to light. Q did not see the work, but it happened. Your brain leaves you such a room each morning. Key, it is gift of the night shift. And so the myth of rest dissolves further. You are never switched off. You are never silent. You are maintained, carried, cared for by the tireless workers of the brain, even in your deepest dreams. The night shift hums on. Now you are ready for the next reflection. For if sparks and shifts keep the brain alive at night, what of the dreams themselves? Those vivid storms of imagery, those waking fictions of the night, are they rest or are they work? Asterisk, the night shift is underway. Your brain has sorted, pruned, washed, tended. But now, another task rises from the sparks, a task so vivid that you can sometimes remember it at dawn. The task is dreaming. For a long time, people thought dreams were nonsense, flickers of the imagination, fragments without meaning. But science has shown otherwise. Dreams are not accidents. They are labor. They are work. They are creation in the night. Pause and imagine this. A theater that only opens after midnight. The curtains rise. The stage glows. Characters step forward. Some familiar, some strange. Scenes unfold, shifting rapidly, as if no rules apply. But beneath the oddity, there is purpose. The play is not random. It is rehearsal. It is integration. It is your brain, active, alive, building in the dark. Dreams are most vivid in REM sleep. Rapid eye movement. In this stage, your eyes dart beneath closed lids. Your breathing quickens. Your brain waves become almost as active as when awake. It is paradoxical sleep. Your body is paralyzed, yet your mind is alight. Here the sparks leap faster, patterns of neurons firing as if rehearsing life itself. It is proof that dreams are not rest. They are work, creation. Pause again. Imagine a workshop hidden in the forest. By day, it is empty. But by night, lamps glow. Tools clink. Hands carve wood, shape metal, stitch cloth. The workshop is alive, though no one sees it. Your brain is this workshop. Dreaming is its craft. Why do dreams matter? 'Cause they weave together memory, emotion, and imagination. They take fragments of your day, shapes from your past, fears from your depths, hopes from your desires, and blend them into stories. It may feel chaotic, but the chaos is constructive. It is the brain testing connections, building new links, finding patterns. This is why dreams can be surreal. They are not meant to be literal, okay? They're experiments in possibility. Pause once. More. Imagine an artist's studio. Paintings cover the walls, some finished, some half done, some only sketches. Colors spill onto the floor. Ideas are everywhere. The studio looks chaotic, okay? But in the chaos, creation thrives. Dreams are this studio. Your mind paints in the dark, unfinished yet essential. Scientists have found that during dreaming, the brain activates regions linked to emotion. The amygdala, the limbic system, light with activity. It is as though the brain uses dreams to rehearse feelings, to process fear, to soften grief, to rehearse joy. This is why dreams can be intense. They are emotional laboratories. They allow you to feel, to test, to process safely. Pause again. Imagine a rehearsal hall. Actors run scenes, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes repeating lines again and again. The play is not real, yet, but it is practice. Your dreams are these rehearsals. They prepare you for the waking stage. Dreaming also strengthens memory. Studies show that students who dream of what they studied often remember it better. Athletes who dream of practice improve their performance. Even musicians rehearse in dreams, their brains firing in the same patterns as if playing for real. Dreams are training grounds. They sharpen skills. They solidify memory. Pause once more. Imagine a soldier drilling in darkness, or a dancer moving through steps in her mind. Body may be still, but the practice is real. Dreams are such practice. You rehearse life while asleep. The labor is unseen, but its results shine in daylight. Dreams can also solve problems. Great discoveries have emerged from sleep. The structure of benzene, the melody of symphonies, the solutions to equations, all found in dreams. Because in dreaming, the brain loosens rules. It allows imagination to run free. Connections appear that waking logic might dismiss. Dreaming is creativity at work. Pause again. Imagine a locked garden. By day, its gates are closed. At night, the gates swing open. Paths twist in strange directions. Flowers bloom in unexpected colors. The garden is wild. But within it, new seeds are planted. Your dreams are such a garden. Strange, yes, but fertile. Full of unexpected creation. Even nightmares serve purpose. They are rehearsals for fear. Its brain simulates danger, trains you to respond, helps you process emotion. Pleasant, yes, but useful. They remind you that the night's labor is not idle. Even distress has function. Pause once more. Imagine sparring in practice. The blows sting. The struggle tires, but the training protects you later. Nightmares are such sparring. They prepare you quietly, even as you dream. Some scientists believe dreams help regulate mood. They sift through the day's feelings, settle the storms, soothe the wounds. If you wake after dreaming, the weight of grief may feel lighter, the sharpness of anger dulled. Dreams do not erase pain. They soften it. They reshape it into something bearable. Pause again. Imagine waves striking a cliff. By day, the blows are fierce, but at night, the tide turns gentler, washing the stone smooth. Dreams are such tides. They soften jagged emotions, carving them into shapes you can carry. Even if you forget your dreams, their work remains. You may wake blank, unable to recall a scene, but the labor is not lost. Your brain has sorted, rehearsed, softened, trained. The work was done, whether you remember or not. Dreams are not for your memory. They are for your brain, okay? Their purpose does not depend on recall. Pause once more. Imagine workers building a bridge at night. By morning, you walk across it without knowing how much labor was spent in darkness. Dreams are those workers, okay? Their bridges carry you forward, though you may never see them built. Dreams prove again that sleep is not absence. It is activity, hidden but essential. You do not drift into nothingness. You drift into a workshop of creation. The sparks leap, the stories form, the emotions are tested, the memories rehearsed. It is not rest, it is creation. Pause again. Imagine a loom weaving by itself. Threads crisscross, colors emerge, patterns form in silence. By morning, a new tapestry lies before you. Dreams are such weaving. Your brain works unseen, but the result is lasting fabric. And so, you see, dreams are not wasted time. They are essential labor. Without them, memory weakens, emotion frays, creativity dulls. The night is a factory of the mind. The workers are sparks. The product is you renewed, strengthened, prepared for morning. Pause once more. Imagine waking in a house that has been tended overnight. Floors polished, walls repainted, flowers placed on the table. You may not know who did the work, but you feel its effect. Dreams leave you such a house each day. This prepares us gently for the next reflection. For dreams are not only stories, they are also gardens of memory where seeds are planted, roots strengthened, foliage grown. Asterisk, dreams paint their wild canvases, strange and vivid, but beneath that artistry, a quieter labor unfolds. It is the work of memory. It is the tending of a garden hidden in the folds of the brain. Pause and imagine this. A gardener walks at night through an orchard. By day, branches grew wild, leaves scattered, seeds fell without care. But at night, the gardener bends low. He plants the seeds in rows. He waters roots. He prunes vines. The orchard is shaped in silence. When morning comes, it appears effortless, but it was not. The night shift has done its work. Your brain is that gardener. Sleep is its orchard. Memories are its seeds. During the day, your brain collects experiences. A voice you heard, a word you read, the smell of bread, the pattern of a street. Each enters the brain, but only as fragile seedlings. Without care, they would wither, fade, disappear. But sleep changes that. It takes those seedlings, roots them deeper, waters them, helps them grow into lasting memory. This process is called consolidation. It is why you can recall the past long after the day has gone. Pause again. Imagine riding on sand at the edge of the sea. By day, the waves wash it away. But if you carve the letters into stone, they endure. Sleep is the carving, takes what is fleeting and engraves it deeper. Science shows us this truth. Experiments reveal that when people learn something new and then sleep, their recall is stronger than if they stayed awake. A night of rest does not erase the lesson, it makes it more permanent. D. Gardner has worked. The roots have strengthened. There are different kinds of memory, and sleep tends them differently. Declarative memory, facts, knowledge, words, is replayed during deep, slow-wave sleep. Neurons echo the patterns of the day, like musicians, rehearsing the same notes until the tune is secure. Procedural memory skills, K's, movements, is sharpened during REM sleep. Athletes, dancers, musicians, their brains replay the motions at night, strengthening the circuits, making the body more skilled. The brain knows what to tend, and it does so in order, like a gardener watering one row. Tend another. Pause once. More. Imagine a library with many wings. One holds facts, one holds skills, one holds emotions. At night, librarians walk the halls, placing books back carefully, ensuring each section grows. That is how memory survives. Even emotions are stored this way. Moments that wound or comfort you are replayed at night. But the replay is not exact. The sharpest edges soften. The memory remains, but the sting dulls. This is why grief changes over time. It does not vanish, but sleep reshapes it. The gardener trims its thorns so you can carry it without bleeding. Pause again. Imagine a rose bush growing wild. Its thorns tear at everything, but at night, the gardener comes, snips away the sharpest branches, ties others neatly. By morning, the rose still blooms, but it can be held without pain. Sleep does this with memory, cued. It makes it livable. This hidden garden explains why sleeplessness feels so heavy. Without tending, memories scatter. Lessons do not take root. Emotions cut deeper. The orchard is neglected. And when morning comes, you feel the weight of chaos. Sleep is not laziness, it's cultivation. Pause once more. Imagine planting a seed, then refusing to water it. It dries, crumbles, disappears. Without sleep, your memories do the same. But with sleep, the seedling grows into tree. The hippocampus, seahorse-shaped structure deep in the brain, is central to this work. By day, it acts as a temporary notebook, scribbling down experiences. By night, it hands them to the cortex, the long-term library, for safekeeping. Like a gardener moving seedlings from pots to soil, the hippocampus transfers memory to permanent ground. This is why your days build into years. Why your life is not scattered, but continuous. The gardener has worked faithfully every night since you were born. Pause again. Can you imagine carrying a basket of fragile plants? Hey, if left in a basket, they would shrivel. But if moved to earth, they will grow strong. The hippocampus is that gardener's hand. Sleep is the soil. Dreams are part of this process too. They weave memory into stories, mixing fragments, testing combinations. Times a face from today appears beside a place from childhood. The brain is linking, seeing patterns, trying new arrangements. This is not error. It is cultivation, is cross-pollination in the garden of memory. Pause once more. Imagine bees moving between flowers. Pollen drifts, mixing colors, creating fruit. Like dreams are those bees. They move between your memories, mixing them, strengthening them, helping them bloom. Even forgotten dreams matter. You may not recall the story, but the work was done. The garden was tended. The seeds were planted. Forgetting is surface. The growing is deep. This is why mourning sometimes brings clarity. A problem unsolved the night before feels easier after rest. Your brain has gardened it. It is watered, pruned, and by dawn, a new path appears. Pause again. Imagine a field under rain. At first, dry soil resists. But by morning, shoots break through, green and alive. The rain worked unseen. Sleep is that rain. Memory is the field. Science has proven this in many ways. Rats dreaming replay mazes. Their neurons fire in the same patterns as when they ran them by day. Humans practicing piano show the same brain rhythms in REM sleep as in waking rehearsal. Gardner repeats the work until it is secure. Your memory is not built by effort alone. It is built by rest. Pause once more. Imagine sculptors working at night, chiseling stone, smoothing edges, while the city sleeps. By morning, a statue stands complete. Sleep is such sculpting. Okay? Memory is the statue. The garden of memory is vast. It holds your name, your language, your skills, your stories, your sense of self. And every night, it is watered. Without this tending, the garden would wither, the self would scatter, continuity would dissolve. This is why even the smallest nap can restore. The gardener works in any hour, so long as sleep comes. Even brief watering keeps the roots alive. Pause. Again, imagine a parched flower. One drop of water is not enough for growth, but it is enough for survival. Sleep, even in fragments, keeps memory alive. And so you see, memory is not stored by will alone. It is not written by decision. It is cultivated by sleep. It is the night gardener's work. Without him, the garden would fade. But with him, you carry your life forward. You wake each day, not as someone new, but as someone continuous, with roots, deepened by the night. Pause once more. Imagine waking in a garden that has bloomed overnight. Roses open, leaves stretch, fruit swells with ripeness. You did not see it happen, but you know it did. Your memory is that bloom. Your sleep has grown it, and now you're ready for the next reflection. For memory is not the only task. The garden thrives, but waste must still be cleared. Debris must still be washed away. The brain must clean itself to make space for tomorrow. Asterisk, the garden of memory has been tended, seeds planted, roots watered, branches pruned. But a garden, no matter how carefully cultivated, must also be cleaned. Weeds removed, fallen leaves swept aside, the soil refreshed. So too must the brain clear itself each night, for while neurons burn with sparks, they leave behind debris. And without cleaning, the garden would suffocate. Pause and imagine a quiet theater. By day, the stage was alive with performers, costumes scattered, confetti littered, ups forgotten in the wings. When the curtain falls, the actors leave. But if no one comes to clean, the stage would not be ready for tomorrow. The mess would grow. The play could not continue. Your brain is this theater. Each thought, each action is confetti, props, costumes. By day, the clutter builds. By night, it must be cleared. Scientists have discovered a hidden cleaning crew. It is called the glymphatic system, like the lymphatic system of the body, but specialized for the brain. It washes fluid through the tissue, carrying away waste. It is the night's tide, flowing silently, sweeping debris into channels that drain toward the body's waste systems, and it works hardest when you sleep. Pause again. Imagine a city street after a festival. Paper strewn, food wrappers tossed, lanterns collapsed, but at midnight, trucks arrive, workers sweep, water sprays. By dawn, the street is clear. The city is ready again. Your brain relies on such cleansing. Without it, the festival of waking life would overwhelm its alleys. The debris the brain clears is not mere dust. It is proteins, metabolic byproducts, chemical fragments. Some are harmless. Some, if allowed to build, become dangerous. Among them is beta amyloid, a protein linked to diseases of memory. Per day, these fragments gather. By night, the glymphatic tide carries them away. Sleep is brainwashing in the most literal, life-giving sense. Pause once more. Imagine tide pools by the shore. Each day, waves deposit shells, algae, sand. If left, they rot. But when the tide rises, the pools flush clean. Fresh water, fresh life. Your brain waits for its tide each night. Without it, the pools would stagnate. This cleaning is so vital that during sleep, your brain's very structure changes. Cells shrink slightly, making more room between them. Channels open. Fluid flows more easily. It is as if the city's buildings pull back their walls at midnight, allowing sweepers and carts to move freely through the alleys. No other organ rearranges itself so completely for cleansing. Pause again. Imagine narrow streets of stone. By day, they are crowded, too tight for wagons to pass. But at night, the walls slide back, revealing wider avenues. Through them, workers sweep with ease. By morning, the streets narrow again. This is the nightly magic of your brain. Without this work, the garden of memory would choke. Seeds would not thrive. Roots would not deepen. Soil would sour. Cleaning is not optional. It is essential. This is why sleepless nights leave you foggy, forgetful, irritable. It is not simply fatigue. It is waste left uncollected. The theater remains cluttered. The streets remain full. The brain cannot shine beneath debris. Pause once more. Imagine a mirror covered in dust. It cannot reflect clearly, but wipe it clean, and the image returns sharp. Sleep is that wiping. Without it, your thoughts are dull, blurred by what should have been cleared. Science confirms this. Experiments with mice show that during sleep, the glymphatic system becomes nearly twice as active. Fluid pulses through the brain, driven partly by the rhythm of slow waves, carrying waste away. Without these hours, toxins remain. Illness risks rise. It is not only memory at stake, it is survival. Pause again. Imagine a river that no longer flows. Stagnant water breeds decay. Mosquitoes swarm. Plants wither. But when the current runs again, life returns. Your brain depends on this river. Sleep is its current. Without it, decay begins. The cleaning also explains why deep sleep feels so restoring. It is not only rest, it is renewal. Your brain is washed, its channels cleared, its stage reset. When you wake, you are not simply rested. You are refreshed. Pause. Once more. Imagine walking through a garden after rain. The leaves glisten. Dust is gone. The air smells of earth. Everything feels new. This is the brain after its cleaning. It wakes rinsed, bright, ready again. The glymphatic system is guided by glial cells, supporters of neurons, caretakers often overlooked. By day, they hold neurons steady. By night, They help direct the tide, ensuring the cleaning is complete. They are the unseen custodians, the janitors of the mind. Even they prove the truth, that the brain never sleeps. Someone is always working. Pause again. Imagine a museum. At night, the visitors have gone, but guards remain. Curators check displays. Custodians polish glass. The museum is alive, even without its crowd. Your brain is such a museum, must be cared for constantly. This nightly tide is why balance is so delicate. So little sleep, and waste accumulates. It's broken a rhythm, and pruning falters. The garden needs both planting and cleaning. Without one, the other suffers. Growth requires renewal. Pause once more. Imagine an artist's studio. Paint splatters on canvas. Brushes stiff with color. If never cleaned, the tools would be useless. The work could not continue. Sleep is the cleaning of brushes. It allows creation to begin anew each day. The cleaning also humbles us. It reminds us that even thought itself creates residue. Every spark leaves trace. Every memory leaves mark. The brain must constantly care for itself, or drown in its own brilliance. Even in this, there is beauty, because it means the mind is alive, ever flowing, ever in motion. Pause again. Imagine a river polishing stones. Each year, it removes what is rough, shaping them smooth. Your brain is shaped the same way, not by stillness, but by constant flow. The cleaning is not loud, is not dramatic. It is tide, ebb and flow, wash and rinse. You do not notice it, you cannot feel it, but every morning you live its result. Sleep is not escape, it is care, it is cleansing, it is survival in silence. Pause once more. Imagine breathing out slowly. The exhale clears the body, makes room for air to return. Sleep is such an exhale for the brain. It empties what must leave, so life can flow in again. And now, you are ready for the next reflection. For even as the cleaning tide flows, the brain never leaves its post. Some part of it remains alert, standing like a watchtower, listening for danger, protecting you in your slumber. Asterisk, the tides have washed through your brain. The debris is cleared. The stage is swept. The tools cleaned. The orchard tended. Okay, and yet, even as this quiet work unfolds, another duty remains. For sleep is surrender, but not complete. The brain cannot afford to fall entirely silent. It must keep a watchtower lit. Pause and imagine a castle at night. The villagers sleep in their homes, candles blown out, streets empty, but on the high wall, a guard still walks. Torch in hand, he listens to the wind, watches the horizon, alert to danger. The castle rests, but it is never unprotected. Your brain is such a castle. Your body surrenders tonight, okay, but deep inside, a sentinel remains. Scientists have seen this clearly. Even in the deepest sleep, parts of the brain stay active. The auditory cortex listens for sound. The thalamus filters information, deciding what to ignore and what to wait for. The amygdala, keeper of fear, can stir if danger nears. You are never without protection. Pause again. Imagine sleeping beside a river. The water flows softly. Crickets sing. Wind moves through trees. You are lost in dreams. And yet, if a branch snaps nearby, your eyes open. The watchtower called you back. It heard what you did not. It kept you safe. This is not accident. It is survival. Long before cities, long before locked doors, your ancestors slept under open skies. A rustle might mean predator. Crack might mean storm. To sleep without alertness would have been death. So the brain evolved a compromise. Most of it rests. Part of it listens. Pause once more. Imagine two travelers. Well, one sleeps, the other keeps watch. By morning, they both move on. safe because one remained awake. Your brain is both travelers at once. It sleeps and it keeps vigil. This watchtower explains why some sounds wake you while others do not. A distant train may pass unnoticed, but the cry of your child pulls you instantly awake. The brain does not guard blindly. It is selective. Listens for what matters most. It tunes its sentinel ears to the signals of survival. Pause again. Imagine a mother bird asleep in her nest. The forest hums with noise. She hears none of it. But when her chick stirs, her eyes open. Her watchtower is tuned to what matters. So too with you. Even in deepest sleep, the brain knows which sounds must not be ignored. The watchtower is not only sound, it is also balance, breath, heartbeat. If your airway closes, your brain rouses you. If your heart falters, it stirs. If your body moves into danger, it tenses muscles, prevents falling. The sentinel does not sleep. It guards not only from the world, but from within. Pause once more. Imagine a lighthouse on the shore. Does not rest because ships depend on it. The storm may come, the rocks may loom, but the light continues. Your brain is this lighthouse. It does not darken, for your body depends on it. Even more remarkable, the watchtower is not always equal. In some animals, dolphins, seals, certain birds, half the brain sleeps while the other half remains awake. One hemisphere rests, the other keeps guard. Unihemispheric sleep lets them breathe, swim, watch for predators. A brain divided, yet alive. Humans cannot do this so dramatically, but traces remain in unfamiliar places. One hemisphere stays more alert. Your first night in a hotel, your sleep is light. This is called the first night effect. It is your brain's half-watch tower, a sentinel in strange territory. Pause again. Imagine a traveler arriving in a new land. He sleeps, but one eye remains half open, watching the horizon. This is you, in a new bed, your brain unwilling to surrender entirely. It's his ancient instinct, still alive. This constant vigilance explains why you can never be fully off. The myth of total silence dissolves again. Even in deepest rest, the brain hums with sentinels. They are not loud. They do not disturb, okay? But they are steady, like torches on a castle wall. Pause once more. Imagine a campfire at night. Most of the wood has burned low, but a few embers remain, glowing quietly, ready to spark if wind blows. The brain's watchtower is such an ember. It glows enough to keep the night safe. And what of dreams? Even there, the watchtower listens. Sometimes a sound slips into the dream. A ringing phone becomes a bell in a dream. A knock at the door becomes thunder in a dream. The watchtower has heard it. It has passed it to your sleeping mind, a test before it wakes you. This blending of real and dream proves again the brain's dual role. It rests, it works, it creates, it guards. Even in deepest silence, you are never unprotected. Pause again. Imagine drifting on a ship at sea. Below deck, everyone sleeps. But one sailor stands above, hand on the wheel, eyes on the stars. The ship is safe because someone watches. Your brain is that sailor. It never leaves the helm entirely. This watchtower also explains why sudden sounds at night can feel so jarring. The sentinel is always near waking. It holds a thread to consciousness, ready to pull you back. Most nights, the thread is slack, but a tug, a cry, a crash, a call tightens it. Instantly, the castle wakes. The guard has done his work. Pause once more. Imagine a dog lying at the gate. Its eyes are closed, but its ears twitch. At the slightest noise, it rises. This is the brain at night, sleeping, yet not blind. The watchtower within is another reminder that sleep is not nothingness. It is balance. It is rhythm. It is surrender, but with care. You are allowed to dream because part of you remains alert. Safety and surrender woven together. Pause again. Imagine a child asleep in bed, parents awake, in the next room, listening. The child dreams freely because she is guarded. Your dreams, too, are protected. The guard is within you, and so the myth of silence weakens again. The brain never yields entirely. It cleans, it tends, it dreams, and it keeps watch, like a city, with night guards, like a ship with a sailor at the wheel, like a forest with a bird that never stops singing. The brain remains alive. This prepares us for the next reflection. For if the watchtower listens, what rhythm does it listen within? What great tide flows through the night, carrying neurons together, sweeping them in slow, synchronized waves? Asterisk, the watchtower has kept its vigil. The night is safe. Your body is still. Your mind floats deeper. And now, a greater rhythm begins to rise. It is the pulse of night waves, the slow, rolling currents of the brain, sweeping across its surface like tides upon the shore. Pause and imagine standing by the sea at midnight. The wind is quiet. The waves roll in, one after another. Each takes seconds, not fractions of a second. Each is slow, steady, endless. The ocean is breathing. Your brain in deep sleep is such an ocean. Its neurons fire together, then pause together, then fire again. Waves ripple across its surface, slower than waking thought, but grander in scale. Scientists call this slow wave sleep. It is the deepest stage, the time when the body restores itself most fully. The brain produces delta waves, large, slow oscillations, each cycle lasting nearly a second. Compared to the rapid chatter of wakefulness, this is silence in rhythm, order in flow. Pause again. Imagine a crowd of people clapping. By day, they clap in chaos, each to their own rhythm. But by night, they clap together. One sound, one beat. The brain's neurons in slow wave sleep do the same. They align, rising and falling as one. This synchronization matters. It allows neurons to communicate efficiently, to transfer memory, to reinforce pathways. It is as though the brain chooses this hour to hold counsel, to align all voices, to ensure the work of the night is done. In the slow pulse of these waves, the garden of memory is strengthened. The cleaning tide flows more deeply. The body heals. Pause. Once more, imagine monks chanting in a cloister. Their voices are deep, measured, each note drawn out. The air vibrates with resonance. The chant is not hurried. It is patient. This is the music of your brain in slow wave sleep. During this stage, growth hormone is released, repairing tissue, healing muscles, mending the bodies where the immune system strengthens, its energy stores replenish. You may be unaware, but your body is rebuilt each night within this rhythm. Without it, the body frays. With it, the body endures. Pause again. Imagine a craftsman restoring a statue. By day, the stone is weathered, chipped, cracked. But at night, the craftsman smooths it, fills fractures, polishes the surface. By morning, the statue stands renewed. Your body is the statue. Slow wave sleep is the craftsman's care. But the pulse is not only for the body, it is also for the mind. When neurons fire together in waves, they strengthen connections. It's transferring knowledge from fragile memory to lasting storage. The hippocampus speaks to the cortex, replaying the day in slow rhythm, carving permanence. This is why learning thrives after sleep. It is why the night before matters less than the night after, because the pulse has worked, engraving experience into you. Pause. Once more. Imagine a drummer teaching rhythm. He taps the same beat slowly, again and again. Each time, the student's hands grow surer. This is how your brain learns at night. Not with speed, but with repetition in slow waves. Scientists have even measured how these waves sweep across the brain. They travel like ripples, from front to back, from side to side, a tide washing the whole shore. It is not local. The teeth, it is global. The brain unites itself. One rhythm shared, one chorus sung. Pause again. Imagine a field of wheat in the wind. Stalks bend in waves, one section, then another, rolling across the landscape. Your brain is such a field. The wind is its pulse. The waves are its unity. This slow rhythm also provides space for cleaning. The lymphatic system flows most strongly in time with these oscillations. Each wave is like a pump, pushing fluid through brain tissue, washing debris away. T2 systems work together, chant and tide, ensuring the night is restorative. Pause. Once more, imagine the sea's tide lifting debris, carrying it outward in time with the moon. Each wave washes more clean. Your brain's waves wash in rhythm with its cleansing tide. Slow wave sleep is also when dreamless rest feels deepest. Here, consciousness is far away. You do not drift through scenes. You do not rehearse stories. You dissolve into blankness, into rhythm, without thought. It feels like nothing. Yet, it is everything. It is the purest rest the brain can provide. Pause again. Imagine lying beneath heavy blankets. The weight surrounds you, presses you into stillness. You do not move. You barely breathe, but you are safe, held. Slow wave sleep. Is this blanket holds you deeply. The importance of this stage cannot be overstated. Deprivation of slow wave sleep leads to memory loss, immune weakness, emotional instability. Without the pulse, the body falters. With it, the body renews. It is not luxury. It is necessity. Pause once more. Imagine a clock that must be wound. Okay. If ignored, its hands falter, its gears strain. But wound again, it keeps steady time. Slow wave. Sleep winds you each night, restoring the gears of mind and body. Even here, though, the brain never fully silences. Tiny sparks appear within the slow tide. Neurons ignite briefly, like lightning within clouds. These sparks may be fragments of dreams, micro-memories, moments of rehearsal. The waves allow space for them, nestled within rhythm. It is balance, order and sparks, tide and storm, silence and fire. Pause again. Imagine thunder rumbling far away. The sky seems calm, but within, lightning flashes. Your brain in slow wave sleep is such a sky. Its waves hold, but its sparks still glow. This stage is most abundant in early night. As hours pass, REM grows longer. But slow wave sleep claims the first chapters. It prepares the ground, lays the foundation. Dreams will build upon it, but without it, they crumble. Pause once more. Imagine a house being built. The walls and roof are dreams, while the foundation is slow wave sleep. Without foundation, the house cannot stand. Without these waves, the night cannot heal. This rhythm is also shared across species. From rodents to humans, brains rely on it. It is ancient, deeply conserved, proof that sleep's purpose is not optional. Life itself has chosen it over millions of years as the way to endure. Pause again. Imagine rivers on every continent, all flowing, all carrying water to the sea. Though distant, they share purpose. So, to do the waves of sleep across all creatures. One rhythm, universal, and so, the myth of stillness dissolves further. Even in deepest quiet, the brain is not empty. It is ocean, field, choir. It pulses with waves, renewing you in silence. This prepares us for the next reflection. For within this great tide, smaller ripples appear. Tiny bursts of imagery, fleeting micro-dreams, glimpses between breaths. Asterisks, the great waves roll slowly through. Your brain, deep tides carry you into stillness. The ocean of sleep is steady, quiet, restorative, and yet, even within this rhythm, smaller ripples rise, brief sparks, moments of vision, tiny dreams that appear and vanish. They are called microdreams, fleeting images between breaths, stories so short you cannot hold them, but so vivid they remind you that the mind never truly stops. Pause and imagine standing by a pond. The surface is smooth, reflecting the moon. But now and then, a fish breaks the water, ripples widening outward. The pond is not empty, it only seems still. So too with your brain in deep sleep. Beneath the slow waves, brief ripples appear, fragments of dream, flickers of imagery. These microdreams often come as you drift into sleep. In the fragile minutes of stage 1, your muscles twitch, your eyes flicker. You see flashes, a face, a falling stare, a sudden light. The last seconds, okay? They vanish as quickly as they come. Scientists call them hypnagogic images, the borderland between waking and dreaming. They are the brain's first whispers that sleep has taken hold. Pause again. Imagine a candle flickering at dusk. Flame bends, straightens, then bends again. It is not steady, but each flicker is beautiful. Your microdreams are such flickers, moments of light before the night grows deep. But they do not only appear at the beginning. They arise throughout the night, in gaps between stages, in the shallow waters between REM and slow wave. You may not remember them, but they appear all the same. Brief faces, places, scenes, woven from sparks of activity. The mind cannot rest entirely. It must create, okay? And so it paints these fragments, even in silence. Pause once more. Imagine clouds drifting across the sky. Most of the night is clear, but now and then a cloud glows with lightning inside. It flashes once, twice, then is gone. Your brain is such a sky. Its microdreams are those brief illuminations. Why do they happen? Science suggests that neurons never fall completely quiet. Even in slow wave sleep, clusters fire, generating fragments of imagery, clots and cooling embers. They flare without warning. The mind is restless in creation. Some microdreams replay fragments of memory. A word you heard, step you took, a sound that lingered. Others are stranger faces, never seen, lands never walked. They are experiments in imagination, brief rehearsals. Pause again. Imagine an artist doodling absent-mindedly. Not full paintings, not great works, just small lines on paper. Yet in those doodles lie seeds of ideas. Your microdreams are these doodles, sketches your brain cannot help but make. Some appear as jolts. You dream you are falling. Your body jerks awake. It is called a hypnic jerk. Your brain, switching rhythms, creates a fragment so powerful that your body reacts. The microdream is gone, but its echo remains in muscle. Others come as whispers, a voice calling your name, though no one is there. A sound woven into dream from the outside world. The watchtower listens, but the dream catches the signal, translates it into image. Pause once more. Imagine a radio catching static, okay? Most is silence, but now and then a phrase breaks through. Your brain is such a radio. Its microdreams are its static, brief, strange transmissions. Though short, these fragments matter. They reveal that the brain never ceases its storytelling. Even when you are unaware, it keeps weaving images like a loom that cannot stop. Microdreams may even help memory, testing connections in miniature, rehearsing in seconds what longer dreams will do more fully. Pause again. Imagine seeds carried on the wind. They do not take root, but they scatter possibilities. Microdreams are such seeds, brief trials in the garden of sleep. Some people glimpse them vividly, artists, poets, thinkers. They sometimes capture fragments at the edge of sleep. They write them down, sketch them, and in daylight, turn them into art. Salvador Dali, Thomas Edison, others like them used microdreams deliberately, napping with objects in hand so they would wake at the moment a vision appeared. They knew the mind never stopped creating. Pause once more. Imagine fishing at dawn. You cast a line. For hours, the water is quiet. But then, a sudden tug. A fish leaps. Brief, beautiful, then gone. Microdreams are these fish. Catch them if you can. Most slip away. But even when you forget them, their influence lingers. They may shape your emotions, prime your thoughts, guide your deeper dreams. Like sparks before flame, they prepare the way. The brain rehearses in miniature before the larger theater of REM ignites. Pause again. Imagine musicians tuning instruments. The real symphony has not begun. But the short notes, the brief chords, prepare the hall. Microdreams are these tunings. They test the strings of imagination. Science still studies their purpose. Some believe they are simply byproducts, neurons firing without direction. Others believe they serve memory, like gardeners planting test shoots before the main crop grows. Whatever their reason, they remind us the brain does not stop, not for a second, not for a lifetime. Pause once more. Imagine sparks flying from a campfire. They leap into the air, glow for a moment, then fade. The fire continues, but the sparks give it beauty. Your sleep is that fire. Your microdreams are its sparks, and perhaps they show something deeper. That imagination is not a choice. It is nature. The brain creates because it must. Like a heart beating, like lungs breathing, it cannot help but generate images. Even when you surrender, it continues. Even in silence, it tells stories. Pause again. Imagine a river flowing under ice. You cannot see it, but cracks reveal glimmers of water shining briefly. The river never stopped. It only hid. Your brain is this river. Microdreams are the glimmers, and so the slow waves hold you. The great tides wash your mind, but within them, brief flashes remind you the brain is never still. It doodles in light, sketches in silence, dreams between breaths. These fragments are delicate, but they matter. They prove again that sleep is not void. It is abundant, alive, with visions too brief to grasp. Pause once more. Imagine fireflies across a meadow. Most blink only once. You do not catch them, but their glow shows you that the field is alive. Your microdreams are those fireflies, proof of the mind's endless light. And now you are ready for the next reflection. For if fragments of dream can appear in deep sleep, what of the boundary itself, the moments when waking and dreaming blur? What happens when sleep walks into daylight, when fragments of night spill into waking mind? Asterisk, the microdreams have shown you that even in silence, your brain creates. It sketches in seconds, flashes of light and vision that remind you imagination is constant. But sometimes the sketches do not remain in the night. Sometimes they slip into the day. This is the blur between states, the place where sleep walks. Through waking. Pause and imagine a shoreline at dusk. The sea is not fully day, not fully night. Waves glow with the last of the sun. Stars begin to appear. It is not one world ending, nor another beginning. It is both at once. Your brain has such shores. It drifts between waking and sleeping, and in those places, dreams bleed into life. Scientists call these transitional states. Hypnagogia, when wake, drifts into sleep. Hypnopompia, when sleep rises into wake. In both, the mind is neither here nor there. It is in between. And in between, strange things happen. Pause again. Imagine standing on a bridge. One side is daylight, The other is night. On the bridge, you see both lamps glowing, sun still warming. Your brain's bridge is these states. It carries pieces of night into day, pieces of day into night. Hypnagogia brings imagery, flashes of sound, brief scenes, falling sensation, a voice calling your name. Your body may twitch, your breath catch. It is the border crossing, not full dream, not full waking. Hypn, O pomp ie. Its twin comes as you wake. Visions linger, dreams cling like mist. Sometimes sounds remain, even when eyes are open. The brain has not fully shifted. It walks both worlds. Pause once more. Imagine fog rising off a lake. You see the water beneath, the sky above, but the fog blurs them. In that blur, both seem the same. Your brain is that lake at dawn. Sleep and wake blur in its mist. This blending explains sleepwalking and sleep talking. Parts of the brain wake, parts remain asleep. The body moves, the mouth speaks, but the mind is not whole. It straddles states. It is halfway between shores. It also explains lucid dreaming. Awareness stirs in REM sleep. You realize you dream, yet remain inside it. Wake has entered sleep. The two coexist. The watchtower and the dreamer share the same stage. Pause again. Imagine a lantern burning in twilight. The sun has not fully set. The stars not fully risen. The world is mixed. So too are these states of mind. Even in waking life, dreamlike moments intrude. Daydreams sweep you from tasks. Your mind wanders, imagining scenes, conversations, places. The world fades, though eyes remain open. This is sleep's whisper in daylight, a fragment of its endless current. Sometimes, sleep intrudes more forcefully. In narcolepsy, REM bursts into waking. Dreams appear while eyes are open. Hallucinations, muscle paralysis, sleep itself, breaking into day. Proof again that the border is thin. Pause once more. Imagine a door not fully latched. Sometimes, the wind pushes it open, letting night spill into the room. Your brain's door is such a latch, does not always hold tight. Sleep and waking pass through. Even meditation shows this blur. In deep stillness, brain waves slow, resembling early sleep. Images appear, voices whisper, though the meditator remains aware. It is not sleep, not waking, but a rhythm between. The mind carries both lights. Pause again. Imagine sitting by a river. One foot rests on the bank, the other dips in the stream. You are in both places, part solid ground, part flowing current. So too is the brain in these states. The blurring also occurs in memory. Sometimes a dream feels so real that it slips into waking recall. You believe it happened until proven otherwise. Other times, a memory weaves itself into dream, appearing as if part of the night's story. The boundary is not fixed, shifts, it overlaps, it flows. Pause once more. Imagine weaving two threads. At times, they run parallel. At times, they cross. The pattern is richer because of their meeting. Sleep and waking are such threads. Their crossings make your mind whole. This blur teaches us that the brain is not binary. It is not on or off. It is spectrum. Waves overlap, states interlace, even. Waking thought is shaped by sleep. Even dreams are touched by day. It is never one world ending, but two worlds interwoven. Pause again. Imagine to cease meeting. Their colors mix slowly, green into blue, blue into green. They remain distinct, yet inseparable at the border. Your consciousness is such a sea. And what does this mean for you? That your mind is fluid, that your identity, your thought, your awareness is not fixed. It shifts moment to moment, carrying fragments of dream into life, fragments of life into dream. Okay? You are a traveler, always crossing borders. Pause once more. Imagine carrying a lantern at night. It lights the path ahead, but also casts shadows. Behind, you move between both. You belong to both. So too does your mind, walking between waking and dreaming. These blurs reveal again that the brain never halts. It drifts, it crosses, it overlaps. The sentinel watches, the gardener tends, dreamer creates, and the traveler crosses states, never pausing, never ending. You are never fully in day, never fully in night. You are always both. Pause again. Imagine twilight stretched forever. Neither day nor night, but a horizon glowing with both. Is your mind. A twilight that continues without cease. And so the myth of separation fades. Sleep and waking are not opposites. They are companions, dancing in rhythm, sharing light. When one walks into the other, it is not failure, it is truth. The brain is continuous, it never halts, it only shifts its dance. This prepares you for the next reflection. For if the boundary itself is fluid, what of the smallest rhythms? What of the pulse of neurons that continue through both day and night, each firing in order, each heartbeat of thought? Asterisks, the borders between sleep and waking have shown their fluidity. You are never entirely in one state, never entirely in another. Your brain drifts between them, carrying fragments across. But beneath these shifting states, something more ancient remains. A rhythm that does not stop. Pulse that beats endlessly. It is the heartbeat of neurons. Pause and imagine a forest. At night, crickets sing. Each sound is small, barely noticeable. But together, they weave a steady chorus, filling the air with rhythm. Your neurons are such a chorus. Each one tiny, each one firing in silence. But together, they sustain the song of life. Neurons are the brain's cells of thought. Billions of them, each connected to thousands of others. They do not rest. Even in sleep, they fire electrical impulses, passing signals, exchanging information. Each impulse lasts milliseconds, but billions occur each second. This is the hidden heartbeat. You do not hear it, but it never halts. Pause again. Imagine fireflies over a meadow. Each flashes at its own pace. But step back, and the whole meadow glows, a living light. Your neurons are these fireflies. Their pulses are small, but together they illuminate you. The firing of a neuron is called an action potential. It begins when ions, tiny charged particles, flow across its membrane. The change triggers a wave, an electrical spark that rushes down the cell's length. At its end, the spark releases chemicals to bridge the gap to another neuron. Signal passed, message sent. Heartbeat continued. This happens whether you are awake, whether you are asleep, whether you are dreaming. The neurons never stop. Pause. Once more. Imagine runners on a relay track. Each passes the baton to the next. The race continues, lap after lap. Your neurons are these runners. The tones are signals. The track is endless, and though small, these pulses create everything. Every thought, every dream, every memory, every breath. Your heartbeat, your vision, your movement, your sleep itself, all arise from the firing of neurons. Day, the hidden. Workers, the ceaseless tide. Pause again. Imagine the ocean in darkness. You cannot see its waves, but you know they move. The tide pulls and pushes, unceasing. Your neurons are such a tide, invisible, yet constant. Even in the deepest sleep, this heartbeat continues. Okay? It slows, it synchronizes, but it does not stop. Slow waves ripple across the cortex. Neurons fire together, then pause together, then fire again. It is a breathing, a rhythm of silence and spark. And when REM comes, their pulses quicken, almost as in waking. Dreams flare, Stories unfold. The heartbeat changes tempo, but never halts. Pause once more. Imagine a drummer shifting rhythms, slow. In one song, faster in another. But always beating, always steady. Your neurons are that drummer. Their beat sustains you. Science has measured this heartbeat. Electroencephalograms, EEGs, place electrodes on the scalp. They detect the electrical pulses of millions of neurons, recording them as waves. Alpha, theta, delta, beta. Each is simply the chorus of neurons firing together. Each is the heartbeat expressed. So when you drift into sleep, when you dream, when you wake, you are not switching on and off. You are shifting rhythm. The drummer changes tempo, but the music plays on. Pause again. Imagine standing outside a cathedral. The bells ring, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. But they never cease, entirely. Your neurons are such bells, ringing through the night. Each neuron is fragile, alone. A spark measured in thousands of a volt. But together, they generate the storm of consciousness. Billions of fireflies, billions of runners, billions of drums, all beating, all firing, all sustaining life. Even in coma, the heartbeat remains. Even under anesthesia, neurons still spark faintly. Only in death does the heartbeat stop. It is older than you. It will continue until your last breath. Pause once more. Imagine an ancient drum beating long before you arrived. It is carried. Tribes, rituals, ceremonies, tea. It will carry on until the fire goes out. Your neurons are this drum, ancient, endless. This heartbeat is not random. It follows rhythm. Neurons form circuits. Circuits form networks. Networks form waves. Each wave carries information, memory, movement. It is orchestra. It's each instrument small, but together, symphony. Even as you dream, the orchestra plays. Some sections fall silent, others rise, but the music continues. It always continues. Pause again. Imagine walking past a sleeping city. Most windows are dark. Streetlights glow. Trains hum faintly. Engines idle. The city is not silent. It is quieter, but alive. Your brain is such a city. Its neurons never rest entirely. And what beauty lies in this is that your sense of self, your very awareness, is woven from sparks too small to see. That your dreams, your fears, your joys, your memories are born of pulses, milliseconds, long, that such tiny heartbeats can carry an entire life. Pause once more. Imagine grains of sand in an hourglass, each grain small, but together they measure time. Your neurons are these grains. Their sparks measure your existence. The continuity they provide is what makes you feel whole. From childhood to now, the same heartbeat has carried you. It shifts, it slows, it quickens, but it never ceases. It has been your companion always, the invisible rhythm of you. Even when sleep feels like oblivion, this heartbeat remains. You may remember nothing, but your neurons never stopped. They tended, they cleaned, they dreamed, they kept vigil. You were never absent. The heartbeat of neurons was always there. Pause again. Imagine lying under heavy snow. The world feels silent, as if buried, but beneath, roots still pulse with life. Your brain in deepest sleep is such a field, silent above, alive below, and so the myth of stillness dissolves again. You are never void. You are never off. The brain's tiny pulses carry you through. Every night, every dream, every memory. It is an ancient rhythm, older than thought, older than language, older than dreams. This prepares us for the next reflection. For though the heartbeat never stops, sleep can still feel like nothing, a blankness, a disappearance. Why does this oblivion feel so real, even though neurons never rest? The heartbeat of neurons has shown you its endless rhythm, okay? Pulse older than you, continuing through every night. And yet, despite this ceaseless activity, sleep often feels like nothing, like a gap in your story, like a pause in being. You close your eyes, you open them again, and hours have vanished. Oblivion, though your brain never ceased. Pause and imagine a theater. By day, the stage is bright. Actors perform, audience claps, the play unfolds. But at night, the curtains fall. Behind them, workers shift scenery, change costumes, repair sets. When morning comes, the stage is ready again. You saw none of it, but the work was done. Sleep feels like the curtain closed. Nothingness. But backstage, the labor continued. This sense of oblivion comes from how consciousness works. The brain is active, but the part that weaves your sense of self, your narrator, your spotlight, dims. Without narration, without spotlight, you cannot recall. And without recall, it feels like absence. Pause again. Imagine a library in darkness. Readers leave, the lights go out. But in the dark, librarians continue to work. Books assorted, shelves repaired, floors swept. When morning returns, the library is fresh, okay? But you remember nothing of the work. It was never absent, okay? It was simply hidden from view. Slow wave sleep especially feels like this nothingness. The brain pulses in deep rhythm. Memories consolidated. Toxins washed away. But consciousness is so dimmed that no story remains. You awaken with a blank, as though you did not exist for hours. This blankness is not death. It is healing. The brain reduces its self-awareness to allow other work to flourish. Pause once more. Imagine a stage lamp so bright that no one else can work. Turn it off and backstage hands can move freely. The lamp is consciousness. The backstage is memory and repair. Oblivion is only the lamp dimmed. REM dreams break this blankness. They give you fragments to recall stories, visions, emotions, but even they vanish quickly. As you wake during them, they dissolve like mist. The brain chooses not to keep them, lest memory overflow. You are left with only traces, tiny islands of awareness in an ocean of nothing. Pause again. Imagine writing messages on a fogged window. For a moment, they are clear. Then the mist fades, and they are gone. Dreams are such messages. They vanish unless caught quickly. Why does the brain allow this forgetting? Because sleep is not for story. It's for function. To remember every dream would overwhelm memory. So the brain lets them go, keeping only the fragments that matter. The rest dissolves into silence, and so sleep feels blank, though it is full of activity. You wake refreshed, but with no tale to tell. Pause once more. Imagine a weaver working. At night, by morning, a tapestry hangs complete. You saw none of the weaving, but it was done. So too with your brain. Sleep feels like absence, but you awaken, clothed in its work. This sense of oblivion also explains why sleep is so essential. Without it, the brain's backstage falters. Memories scatter, emotions fray. The stage remains cluttered. We need the blankness for the labor to unfold. It is not wasted time. It is hidden time. Pause again. Imagine soil at night. You see only darkness, but beneath, roots spread, worms turn earth, nutrients move. By morning, growth appears. Sleep is this soil. Oblivion is only the surface. Some fear this blankness, equating it with death. But science shows it is the opposite. Neurons pulse, synapses fire, cells are washed, proteins cleared, immune systems strengthened. Life sustained. Sleep is not death's rehearsal. It is life's renewal. Pause once more. Imagine coals under ash seem extinguished. But stir them, and fire glows bright. Sleep is those coals. They burn, though you do not see them. Even anesthesia, which mimics oblivion, is not true absence. Neurons still fire. Circuits hum faintly. The body is still cared for. It feels blank, but it is only the spotlight dimmed. And coma, too, though deeper, though frightening, still holds faint sparks, still holds heartbeat of neurons. Only death is true cessation. All else is shadow, not end. Pause again. Imagine a river frozen in winter. On the surface, silence, but beneath the ice, water flows. Life continues unseen. Sleep is this river. Oblivion is the ice. This perspective changes how we see rest. It is not nothing. It is hidden work. It is curtains drawn, lamps dimmed, but backstage, alive. The oblivion you feel is illusion. The truth is continuity, unbroken. Pause once more. Imagine closing your eyes in meditation. The world fades, but your breath continues. Your heart beats. Your thoughts drift quietly. You may feel absent, but life flows on. Sleep is this meditation, magnified. So why do we perceive it as nothing? Because perception itself is suspended. Consciousness is a narrator, weaving moments into story. When the narrator rests, the story pauses, but the actors continue. The play does not stop. You awaken, story resumed, as though nothing happened. But the set has changed, the actors renewed. Pause again. Imagine reading a book. You close it at night. In the morning, you open it again. The story continues. But the pages you missed were still written. You simply did not read them. Sleep is those unread pages. Even the sensation of timelessness is part of this illusion. Hours can vanish in a blink. Because consciousness was quiet, there is no sense of passage. But time moved. Neurons worked. Waves pulsed. The garden grew. The theater was cleaned. The city restored. Sleep is not timeless. It only feels that way. Pause once more. Imagine sailing through night fog. You see nothing, feel nothing, but by dawn, you are miles away. The ship moved. The sea carried you. The journey was real. You were never still. Sleep is such a voyage, and so the myth of absence dissolves. Sleep is not void. It is hidden fullness. You may feel nothing, but neurons fired, dreams sparked, memories grew. The brain worked silently, a caretaker behind the curtain. You awaken not from nothing, but from everything unseen. Pause again. Imagine a painter who works in darkness. You see no brush, no color. But when dawn comes, a mural covers the wall. Sleep is this mural. The oblivion you felt was simply blindness to its creation. And now you are ready for the next reflection. For if sleep feels like absence, yet is filled with work, what does that mean for consciousness itself? Can the brain ever be fully off? Is there any moment when the spark dies completely? Sleep feels like absence. Oblivion seems to swallow ours, and yet we know it is not so. The backstage never rests. The neurons never cease. The heartbeat of the brain continues, whether you recall it or not. But now comes a deeper truth, a truth more humbling, more mysterious, that the brain is never fully off, not in dreams, not in anesthesia, not even in coma. A spark always remains. Pause and imagine an ancient hearth. The fire roars in the evening. By midnight, the flames die down. Ash covers the wood. It looks extinguished. But if you stir the ashes, embers glow. They wait, ready to flame again. Your brain is such a hearth. So even when the flames of consciousness vanish, the embers burn faintly. They never fully die until life itself departs. Consider anesthesia. Doctors use it to quiet the brain, to silence awareness, to still the memory of pain. And yet, scans show the neurons still fire, circuits still hum, the spark remains. It is not true nothingness. It is suppression, like a lamp dimmed but never switched off. Patients under anesthesia lose recall, lose awareness, but their brains are not gone. They are altered. They are shifted. The embers still glow. Pause. Again. Imagine a lighthouse shrouded in fog. The beam cannot be seen. Ships believe the coast is dark, but the lamp still burns, only hidden from view. Your brain under anesthesia is this lighthouse. Light persists, though your awareness does not. Even coma, deep and prolonged, does not silence everything. The body breathes, the heart beats, neurons flicker faintly. Though awareness is gone, the machinery of life endures. Sometimes recovery is possible, sometimes not. But the spark is there, long after you imagine it absent. And this spark matters, because it means that the brain is never fully at rest while life continues. Pause once more. Imagine a city struck by blackout. Streets go dark, shops close, homes fall silent. It looks abandoned, but deep beneath, generators hum faintly. Hospitals glow with emergency lights. A few lamps still burn. The city is not dead, only dimmed. So too is the brain in coma. Asterisk. Why is it never fully off? 'Cause life depends on it. The brain regulates breath, heartbeat, temperature, circulation. It cannot stop. If it stopped, the body would end. Okay? And so it must hum. Always, even when awareness disappears. This hum is called baseline activity. Neurons fire in steady patterns, sustaining the systems of survival. They are the embers of the hearth, the emergency lights of the city. They are proof that life is continuity, not gaps. Pause again. Imagine a ship crossing the ocean. Storms may knock out sails, lanterns may shatter, but deep in the hull, the engine still churns. The voyage continues, though passengers believe all is lost. Your brain is such a ship. The engine of neurons never halts. Even in the deepest sleep, this continuity shines. The watchtower listens. The tide cleanses. The gardener tends. The orchestra of neurons plays. You may recall nothing, but oblivion is illusion. The spark always remains. Pause once more. Imagine a candle under a glass. The flame weakens, flickers, low, but never extinguishes. The wax melts slowly, feeding it still. Your brain, under sedation or sleep, is this candle, live, though faint. This truth humbles us, because it means we are never absent from ourselves. We are continuous. We are not broken by blankness. We are carried forward, moment by moment, spark by spark. Consciousness may vanish, but life remains. The embers hold. The heartbeat continues. Pause again. Imagine closing your eyes in darkness. You feel alone. You feel absent. But beneath your chest, your heart beats. Beneath your skull, your neurons fire. You are not gone. You are sustained. Even in faintest states, the brain shows signs of life. Vegetative patients, thought lost, sometimes reveal hidden awareness in subtle brain scans. Ask to imagine walking through a house. Their brains spark in the same regions. As the healthy, the ember glows, though the flame is unseen. This proves again that never fully off is not philosophy. It is fact. The brain sustains itself always. Pause once more. Imagine an underground spring. From above, the land seems dry, but dig deep, and water flows clear, endless. Your brain is such a spring. Even when surface is barren, depths still flow. And what beauty lies here? That your story is continuous. That even when you lose it, it does not lose you. K. That your neurons work without cease, carrying you through the blankness. Sleep, sedation, coma, none erasure, daily dim. Your awareness. The flame burns on. Pause again. Imagine stars on a cloudy night. You see nothing above, but beyond the clouds, they shine. Your brain is such a sky, always lit, sometimes hidden. This truth changes how we think of rest. It is not off, it is not ending, it is rhythm, tempo slowing, lights dimming, but the band still plays. The spark never leaves, and because it never leaves, consciousness itself may be more than memory, may be continuity of spark, an ember older than your thoughts. It is not what you recall, it is what sustains you. Pause once more. Imagine a violin string vibrating. You may not hear it in silence, but if touched, its hum is revealed. Your neurons vibrate always, whether you notice or not. And so, the myth of full rest dissolves. There is no complete off while life remains. There is only rhythm slowed, story paused, light dimmed, but the ember glows. The hearth burns, the engine hums. You are never nothing. You are always something, carried forward by the ceaseless spark of neurons. Pause again. Imagine drifting at sea with eyes closed. You think you float in stillness, but the current carries you. You are not still. You are moved. Sleep and coma are such seas. The current flows, always. And now you are ready for the next reflection. For if the spark never dies, if the ember always glows, then what does this mean for continuity? Are your first cry to your final breath? You are never broken. You are never gone. You are one continuous rhythm. Asterisk, the ember has shown itself. Never fully off, never fully gone. Through sleep, through anesthesia, through coma, the spark remains. And now comes the truth. It sustains. That consciousness itself is continuous. Not flawless, not unbroken in memory, but unbroken in existence. Pause and imagine a river. It winds through valleys, over rocks, through forests, into the sea. Sometimes hidden underground, sometimes wide in flood, times narrow, barely seen, but always flowing. Your consciousness is this river. It changes shape, but never ceases. From the moment of birth, neurons spark. The heartbeat begins. You cry, breathe, see light, and from then onward, the spark never stops. It carries you through childhood, through waking days, through dreaming nights. Even when you do not recall, it continues. A river flowing, whether you watch or not. Pause again. Imagine a lantern carried through the dark. Sometimes its light is steady. Sometimes wind makes it flicker. Sometimes fog hides it, but it burns, always. Your consciousness is this lantern. It's held from birth to death. Memory can deceive. It is fragmentary. You forget years, days, moments. But the spark that carried you was never gone. Consciousness is not memory. It is continuity. It is presence. Even if you do not recall it, pause once more. Imagine a weaver at her loom. Some threads are bright, some dark, some fray and vanish. But the loom never stops. The cloth grows regardless. Your neurons are this loom. Your consciousness is the cloth. Science shows us that even in blankness, consciousness shifts but remains. Sleep is one rhythm. Dreams are another. Anesthesia, coma, still another. They are not endings. They are modes. It's different songs, different tempos, but the same orchestra playing. And so, life feels continuous. Because beneath all change, beneath all forgetting, the neurons sustain you. Pause again. Imagine listening to a symphony. One movement ends, another begins. You forget the first notes, but the orchestra never stopped. Your life is this symphony. Consciousness is its music. This continuity explains identity. You are not a collection of moments. You are not memories alone. You are the thread that has been carried from first breath. The same spark, shifting, but alive. You may not recall the infant you were, but you were carried here by the same rhythm. Pause once more. Imagine a tree. The sapling is gone. Oh, the trunk has thickened, branches spread, leaves fall and grow again. But it is one tree. Consciousness is this tree. You have changed, but you are continuous. Even illness, even trauma cannot erase this thread. It may fray, it may bend, but it does not vanish until life itself departs. Continuity is deeper than clarity. It is the fact of spark, not the detail. Of story. Pause again. Imagine a clock with broken hands. It cannot tell time correctly, but the gears inside still turn. Your brain is this clock. Consciousness continues, even when its telling falters. And what is continuity, if not survival? Each night, you surrender to blankness. Each morning, you awaken. It feels like disappearance, okay? But it is not. The thread held. The spark remained. The ember glowed. Sleep teaches you this truth daily. You vanish, yet you return. Continuity has carried you. Pause once more. Imagine a bridge over a canyon. Fog covers it. You cannot see across. But when you walk, you arrive on the other side. Sleep is this fog. Consciousness is the bridge. This continuity binds you to others. Two, all human lives share it. All creatures with brains carry sparks that never cease. It is universal. It is the hum of life itself. Continuity shared across species, across time. You are not alone in this rhythm. You are part of its chorus. Pause again. Imagine countless candles in a hall. Each burns with its own flame. Each different, yet all are fire. Consciousness is such a hall. Yours is one candle, but part of a greater glow. Continuity also brings comfort, because it means you are never nothing. Even in blankness, you were carried. Even in darkness, you were sustained. There were no gaps, only rivers beneath fog, only sparks beneath ash, only music between movements. Pause once more. Imagine a heartbeat heard through a stethoscope. It does not stop while you sleep. It carries you. So too with consciousness. You may not hear it, but it beats always. From your first cry to your final breath, this continuity remains. One long rhythm, one endless hum. It binds you, it defines you, it carries you. And when the final moment comes, when the ember dims at last, the continuity will have stretched from beginning to end. It's one unbroken thread, woven quietly by neurons, by sparks, by waves. Pause again. Imagine an unspooled ribbon. From the start to the finish, it is whole. Your life is such a ribbon. Your consciousness is its length, and so the myth of brokenness dissolves. You are not fragments. You are not pauses. You are continuity. A thread spun from neurons, woven through nights of blankness, through days of memory, through years of change. The story is unbroken. The river flows. The flame burns. The hum continues. This prepares you for the final reflection. For if the spark never ceases, if the thread never breaks, then perhaps comfort lies here, that tonight, tomorrow, for as long as you live, your mind will not stop for even a second. Asterisk, the continuity of consciousness has shown its thread, unbroken, woven from sparks and neurons, carried from first cry to final breath. But now comes the final truth, the comfort within it. That even as you drift, as you surrender, as you close your eyes to the dark, your brain continues. It is motion without end, a hum beneath silence, a river beneath stillness. Pause and imagine lying in a boat at night. The sky is black. The water looks still. You feel suspended, motionless, but beneath currents flow. The boat drifts. You are carried, though you do not feel it. Your brain is this current. Even when you believe yourself at rest, it carries you onward. Every night, this motion sustains you. Neurons fire. Dreams unfold. Gardens of memory are tended. Waste is washed away. Watchtowers keep vigil. Slow waves roll. Micro-dreams flicker. Consciousness blurs, but continuity remains. It is the great truth of the brain. It never stops, and in this truth lies comfort, because it means you are never abandoned. Even in sleep, you were cared for. Pause again. Imagine a child in a cradle. The mother rocks gently. The child drifts, unaware of the hands, but carried always. Your brain is this cradle. Cue, rest unaware, but it rocks you through the night. The comfort lies not in stillness, but in motion. The endless work of neurons is what allows you peace. The whisper in silence, guard in darkness, repair in oblivion. You awaken renewed, though you never saw their labor. This unseen motion is life itself. It is why you survive. It is why you dream. It is why you awaken again each morning. Pause once more. Imagine a loom working in shadows. You do not see its hands, do not hear its threads, but in the morning, a tapestry waits. Sleep is this loom. Your brain weaves without pause, and you awaken, clothed in its fabric. Scientists remind us that this endless motion is not chaos, it is order. The waves of neurons fire in patterns. The circuits shift with rhythm. The night is not noise, it is symphony. Your brain composes as you rest, each part playing its role, each spark part of a greater whole. You are held in its harmony, and so you sleep in music, whether you hear it or not. Pause again. Imagine an orchestra rehearsing quietly, but the conductor moves slowly. Each instrument joins in turn. The music swells, not for audience, but for itself. Your neurons are this orchestra. Their endless hum is their song. And here is the comfort that the brain is tireless. It will not abandon you. It will not rest until you rest no longer. It will clean, it will guard, it will tend, it will dream. Even when you feel nothing, it is alive. This motion is not burden, it's gift. It frees you to surrender each night. Knowing something deeper carries you. Pause once more. Imagine a city at night. You see empty streets, dark windows, pumped power, plants hum, pumps run, wires spark. The city endures because of its unseen work. Your brain is such a city. It endures because of its endless hum. This endlessness also comforts because it means you are never truly lost. The blankness of sleep is not disappearance. It is care. It is motion hidden from you. It is the hands of life working silently. You awaken not from nothing, but from abundance unseen. Pause. Again. Imagine a library tended at night. Shelves polished, floors swept, books restored. You enter in the morning. It looks the same, but it has been renewed. Sleep is this library. The work was unseen, but you live its results. Even dreams remind us of this motion. They come without command. They weave fragments, test emotions, rehearse life. You do not choose them. They rise from motion deeper than will. They prove again that imagination is nature, not choice. You may forget them, but the work is done. The motion carried you through. Pause once more. Imagine waves breaking on a shore at night. You sleep in a cabin by the sea. You do not hear each one, but in the morning, the beach is reshaped. Dreams are such waves. They shape you while you rest, and so comfort deepens, because this endless hum is not only survival, it is care. It makes you whole again each day. It renews the body, strengthens the immune system, heals wounds, sharpens memory, softens grief. Every part of you is touched by the brain's motion. It is your secret guardian, your silent healer, your endless friend. Pause again. Imagine a candle burning in a dark room. You sleep unaware, but its flame warms the air, keeps shadows at bay. Your brain is this candle. It burns without asking, without fail. And when fear rises, fear of death, fear of oblivion, this truth is comfort still. Because while you live, your brain will not stop. Not for a second. It is not fragile. It is tireless. Its hum is your assurance. Its motion, your anchor dot. It will carry you tonight. It will carry you tomorrow. It will carry you until your final moment. Pause once more. Imagine a clock tower. Its pendulum swings day and night. The town forgets it is there, but time continues because of it. Your brain is this pendulum. Life continues because of it. And when that final moment comes, when the ember dims at last, the continuity will have stretched from first cry to final sigh. One long hum. One endless motion. One life sustained. And even then, perhaps the comfort endures that while you lived, you were never alone. Never without spark. Never without motion. Pause again. Imagine lying in a field beneath stars. The earth turns beneath you, though you do not feel it. The cosmos hums, though you do not hear it. And yet, you were carried. You were never still. Your brain is this earth, this cosmos, moving always, holding you gently in its rhythm. So tonight, when you rest, remember this. You will not be abandoned. Your brain will guard, heal, dream, clean, create. It will not stop. It cannot. It does not know how. This is the comfort of endless motion, and in knowing this, you may finally let go. Let your breath slow, let your thoughts drift, for you are held by something tireless, by a hum older than you, by the motion that never ceases. Pause once more. Imagine drifting on a riverboat. You sleep on deck. The stars fade. The boat moves onward. In the morning, you are farther than before. You did not row. You did not steer, but you were carried. Sleep is this boat. The brain is its current, and you are always carried onward. And so the story closes where it began, not in stillness, but in motion, not in silence, but in hum. Your brain never rests. Your consciousness never ceases. Your neurons never stop. This is the truth, the comfort, the endless lullaby, that as you close your eyes tonight, as you drift toward dreams, your mind will not stop for even a second. It will guard you, heal you, and dream for. You always awake within the dark.